First will not support it.
I call Chris Ockenvoll.
Mr. Speaker, what an opportunity, one would think, to follow in the speaking order two political luminaries, Charles Chauvel for Labour and the Right Honourable Winston Peters for New Zealand First. What an opportunity to listen as they match themselves blow for blow, riposte and counter-riposte, the sharp exchange of finely honed arguments against policy perception. But no, all we had from Charles, sadly, was a party political diatribe against National taking sensible, prudent legislative steps towards a likelihood of mass arrivals of illegal immigrants. I have no doubt...
Point of order. The Right Honourable...
There's no one in this House called Charles, perhaps Sir Charles or the Honourable Charles, and his full name, but not just Charles.
No.
We can't lower our standards here anymore.
Order. I'm dealing with the point of order. The member is correct, and I know that the member in future will abide by the rulings, and that members are called by their full names.
Very happy to do that, Mr. Speaker. And Charles Chauvel is a person that doesn't, I don't think, lose any standing through simply being known as Charles. But as the Right Honourable Mr. Winston Peters would prefer, I will refer to him as Charles Chauvel. But all we heard from Charles was the groans about taking legislative steps towards the likelihood of mass arrivals of illegal immigrants. I have no doubt that Mr. Chauvel would also be one of the first to say that we were unprepared once the arrivals do occur if we have not got this type of legislation underway. And then we heard from the Right Honourable Winston Peters, a person who is, I trust, immensely proud of his Scottish ancestry, as we should all be proud of the genetic mix that our human bodies glory in. But what did we hear from Mr. Peters? Epsom, John Banks, student loans. A Mona overstayers who says, you don't even know who they are. Mind you, they're not Asian, they're not Pacific, and they're not Maori. So... well, I don't know about that, because let's talk about Maori migration. There's a bigger Maori migration now to Australia than is larger than the first one. That occurred during the period of the Labor government.
Point of order. Point of order. The Honourable Clayton Crosby.
I seek leave to table the latest immigration figures, sir, showing from Immigration New Zealand 1,000 people a week leaving this country. May reinforce the member's point that he's just made under his government.
Well, that's interrupting. That is an interruption of a member's speech, and it's proper that you can ask for leave. But I just would have thought that at the end of a speech that you might want to seek leave then, but you have sought leave, and it is proper that you can do that. Leave is sought for that purpose. Is there any objection? Yes. There is objection.
Yeah, but if we were
point of order, the Right Honourable
Mr. Speaker, it will certainly lead to disorder if a member of this House can get up and accuse the Maori people of being both boat people and overstayers when they've been here 1,000 years.
No. Look, these are debatable points, and I'm on my feet. And in the course of this debate, there will be I'm sure, some robust debate, and I'm calling Chris Ockenvoll.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I don't actually expect too much in the way of, and I don't think any other member of the House would expect too much in the way of general courtesy from some of the speakers who raised points of order. And we're not going to be particularly upset by then, but Clayton, Mr. Cosgrove, we love you anyway. We love you anyway. But back to the speech from Mr. Winston Peters, which in fact the whole speech was a shibboleth because it came through with no substance, only towards the end when he started to cite what he thinks should be included in this type of legislation. I would suggest to him that a modicum of thought will show that in fact the points he has raised are there, and he would do well to support the bill in its entirety, because this bill has a number of key messages, Mr. Speaker. It takes a firm stance on illegal immigration ventures. We continue to work with our international partners on combating people smuggling, which must be one of the filthiest trades that occurs in the world today. They have no regard for the people that they allege they are trying to help, and they take large amounts of money from them. Queue jumpers, a point that was exception was taken to queue jumpers by one of the term queue jumpers by one of the members opposite, who wished to remind us that he had once been a minister. But those are in fact proper terms to use when people are pushed in front of genuinely needy refugees. The government's overall package of changes is firm but fair, and it sends a strong message that New Zealand is not a soft touch. The changes are compliant with the New Zealand Bill of Rights Act 1990 and New Zealand's international obligations. Mr. Speaker, the reality is that mass arrivals of illegal immigrants are occurring. We heard the Right Honourable Winston Peters say Canada's a target, New Zealand is closer. It will occur. We owe it to the country. We owe it to genuine migrants to be prepared, and this bill will do that, and that's why I'm very proud to support it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Mary Ann Street.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill is not about